Hi, I'm Nancy Shaw with Healthy Living. Today our guest is Irene McCormick. Hi Irene, thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
We are going to be talking today about a new program that you are starting here, or have started because we've offered one session already here at Ames Parks and Recreation, called a Tabata Boot Camp.
Yes.
Very interesting name. It's a little different than a lot of our programs here. So can you give us some general idea of what a Tabata Boot Camp is?
Yes, the Tabata Boot Camp is an 8-week program that people sign up for, and they exercise twice a week with me as the instructor. And then they have homework, which is, exercises online that they do. It's really easy to access it. So there's the exercise component, and then there's also a nutrition component. So the participants are required to log their food on a daily basis, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'm not asking them to change their eating. I really am not. I'm not a registered licensed dietitian, so I'm not trying to get people to eat a certain diet. I just want them to become more aware of what they're eating. And usually, as you well know, when you become more aware,
what happens?
You change.
Right. And changes in nutrition are so important for people who want to make changes in their body.
Well, if you want to lose weight,
right,
exercise is a really important part. In fact, the research demonstrates that exercise is what makes you more compliant with a nutrition program or a change in your diet, but it's certainly not the end-all be-all. Calorie counting is not as effective, I think, as people think it is. It's the food.
Right.
It's 80% of your weight loss, and so that's really important to be aware of. Are you eating food, or are you eating food products?
Right.
Those are two different
Big
things.
Difference. Yes. So the Tabata Boot Camp takes both of those components and uses it for this fitness program.
Yes.
What type of person are you looking for? Beginners, intermediate, exercisers? Who is signing up for this class?
Well, I think one of the most important qualities about signing up for this class, because it's really more of a commitment than it is just an exercise class. And I literally tell people, I say, listen, we offer fantastic classes at the City of Ames. If you are not ready to commit and make changes, don't spend the money on the Tabata Boot Camp. Although it is reasonably priced, it is not.
Right, as everything is here.
As everything is here, exactly. So I tell them literally, if you're not ready to commit, if you're not ready to come to class every time, we do it twice a week, but they have homework. And there's an online component, which is where they log their food, and I check it and give them feedback. If they're not willing to come to class and also log their food, I tell them don't spend the money because you're not ready to make the changes.
So they really need to be able to commit twice a week to coming to this class for those 8 weeks.
Which is really nothing. So I'm looking for somebody who's really willing to commit. I mean, it's not nothing, but it's really, if you're ready to make a change, it's not going to be that big of an inconvenience for you. So I'm looking for that, people ready to make a change. I'm also looking for people who, it doesn't matter what your fitness level is, I can make it work for you.
Right.
I can scale the exercises up or down. However, with that said, these exercises are hard. And that's exactly what I want. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm looking for people to work with me in the 45-minute segment somewhere between a 7 and a 9. So the duration of the class is short, but the intensity is really high. But your body will physiologically adapt to that. So even if you're not super fit or you feel like you're not as fit as other people, it doesn't matter. You meet yourself where you are, and I'll guide you through that. It will empower you to try.
And I know the first session that we ran, you did have a lot of variation in levels and goals, and just their comments alone, they all succeeded in one way or the other, but they all did commit to it and they showed up for the workouts. And
that's the huge part of it. And it's amazing. I mean, some of the people were exercising and they were doing it on their own, or they were coming to classes and they were getting results, which is fantastic. But as soon as they started making a change with respect to the nutrition, and again, I'm not advocating a diet, I'm not telling them what to eat necessarily, I'm just observing their food choices and saying, are you drinking any water at all? And they're going, oh my gosh, I'm not. Or you do a lot of fast food, which is not necessarily bad, but over time you know that it's really detrimental to a weight management program. So those are the kinds of things that people, and so the exercise part is really important because it increases your level of fitness, because I want them to work hard. In fact, we're going to try a couple of the exercises here in just a bit. But you'll do what you can do, and I'll just encourage you to do what you can do, but I'm not going to let you not do it.
But the exercises, going back to that, they're more Tabata style.
They
correct?
are Tabata.
Obviously, that's why it's called
Tabata
Boot Camp.
Boot Camp. That's right.
So tell us a little bit about Tabata for those who don't know about.
Tabata is a form of training called HIIT, which is high intensity interval training. And we've been interval training for years.
Right.
But within the last 2 or 3 years, we've started to embrace this concept known as Tabata. So it's literally 20 seconds of high intensity exercise to a point where you get breathless, and then 10 seconds of recovery, and you do it 8 times. Okay. So it's a 4-minute period. It's 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. So because the moves are so quick, there's not a lot of variation. I mean, you just work really hard and then you recover, and you work really hard.
Right.
So they're simple movements. They're not super complex. But you get into what's called oxygen debt, and that's when you go,
right,
and you breathe really hard. And if I'm not getting the participants into oxygen debt, either I'm not communicating effectively or they're not trying as hard as they can, because you can get into oxygen debt. And that's really kind of a hallmark of a Tabata, is are you getting people breathless? And we do probably 4 or 5 Tabatas in the context of the 45-minute workout. Okay. And we do lots of other things too, and we use various pieces of equipment. For example, we use the trampoline, which is fantastic.
Yes, it is.
For people, because you don't compromise intensity, but you still get and you're working in a high impact movement, but you don't have the ground reaction forces that you get when you jump up and down on the ground.
Right, that's why people are loving it on their backs and their knees and
their hips, and they can still do the work, and they're shocked that they can, and they still are like, which is what we want. And that's why it's so wonderful that we offer trampoline here at the city, because not a lot of facilities offer the trampoline fitness. And then we use the gliding discs, and we use tubing, and we use the suspension trainers, the TRX suspension trainers.
So really it's a variation
all kinds of stuff.
Which, as we all know, mixing it up is the best way to go with keeping your body guessing as to what kind of exercise you're going to be doing that day.
And so they don't get bored. They're always come in and think, what are we going to do today?
And they like that. People really like having that element, that unknown element.
I take the predictability out of it. The only thing they know is from 6 a.m. to 6:45 a.m., I got them.
Right. And it is at a great time. Right now we're offering it on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings from 6 to 6:45. So people can come in, get it done, get to work, and their workout is complete for the day. So we have found that to be a really, really popular time for a lot of people.
Early morning is better because you really don't have any excuses. I mean, I understand that you have to get kids to school and things like that, but it is pretty early. And so really the only thing it requires is just, get into the habit of it and get up and try. That's all I ask you to do.
And when you do that with 8 other people, you do form that group bonding, that you have accountability. You have to be here, or people will say, "Where were you?" So that's always a good element as well.
And the small group component of it, that's, we have 8, 9 people maximum, is fantastic, because then I can give you the individual attention that you are requiring, that you're paying for, and that you really need. So large groups, it doesn't work as well. Smaller groups, I can really make a difference for those people, and that's why I'm here.
Well, you want to show me, for example, a couple of things that participants would find in a Tabata boot camp class?
So if you don't mind, I'll have you get up on the trampoline, and we're going to do we'll just do a run in place.
Okay.
And on the ground, sometimes that can be pretty exhausting, and you're stomping on hard cement, or a floor surface that's tough. So I'm going to have you, remember when you trampoline, you always load down. As opposed to up, and I know you realize that, but sometimes people think they're going to jump up and down, and that's not exactly it. So just go ahead, if you don't mind, pull your knees together and your arms right by your sides, and you would do this for 20 seconds. The first 20 seconds is not a big deal at all.
No.
Let's just say you've got 10 seconds to go. I'm very good about the stopwatch. I know exactly when you're going to stop and start. And then you would rest for 10. And now I'm going to give you more information. I'm going to say, you look really good, but I'd say, Nancy, draw on your abdominal wall, keep your shoulders down. Ready? Next one coming at you. Go. And then you would do it again for 20 seconds. And I would cue you like this, because I have a small group. So I could say, okay, knees are going to be higher. Pull your elbows back. Be sure you're breathing. You look fantastic. That's exactly what I want. Just a teeny bit more. 5 more seconds. Keep drawing your knees up higher. Rest. So now you have a chance to reset and get your bearing
Right.
again, but not very long, because right away,
10 seconds, you're going.
here comes the next one. Okay, so that's an example of, and so it's 8 of those in a row, but if you bite it off in small pieces like that, how manageable is that?
Yes, and for a person, it's very much more obtainable in their mind that they can succeed.
As opposed to
and
running
it is interesting how, you're right, the first one, you know, you're feeling a little winded. Second one, more winded. By the 8th one, you are definitely
in
gasping. And yes.
By the 6th one, you're like,
yes.
oh, can I do this?
Yeah.
Yes, you totally can. Everybody is. And then somebody who's maybe more fit or has more experience doing it, they can do the same move as you and just go faster.
Right.
Or just lift their knees higher.
Right.
And somebody who doesn't, they can just go slower. But everyone's doing the same.
Right. And everybody's taking it to their level where they're feeling very challenged.
And so it works for anybody. And then I'll come down to the floor and I'll have you try a gliding exercise. Now this is a challenging move. I'm going to have you do a mountain climber with your on your forearms. So you'll put the gliding disc underneath your feet and you'll go to the floor. We have mats in here so people can put their arms on the mat so they're more comfortable in the experience. And I would use a similar format. So let's go ahead. I'll have you come down onto your forearms, and even more importantly than just being on your forearms, I want you to pull your shoulder blades down so you can stabilize your body with your back right here, not necessarily your shoulders. And then you're going to hinge your hips up just a bit, so you're going to come up just a bit, and then you're going to perform mountain climbers. So 20 seconds, in, out, yes. And then if you need to go slower or you need to go faster, you can do that. So this is pretty tough, so that's why I don't do this the whole time.
Right.
For the 20 seconds, 5 seconds to go, and rest. Okay, now I'll give you a different skill. So pull those gliding discs out from underneath your feet, put them underneath your hands, and you're gonna stay on your knees. So your body's gonna be like this. Make sure you pull your feet up to your glutes, and you're gonna slide one hand out like this and one hand out like this on the gliding disc. And now you'll do this for 20 seconds, and begin. So you only have 10 seconds to transition from the feet to the hands. But if you know where you're going to go, you'll be able to do it really quickly.
Right.
And so you just push out and you stabilize your spine and you pull your feet up to your glutes so you can maintain engagement in your hamstrings the whole time, and you're working. You have 5 more seconds and finish, and then you transition those gliding discs back to your feet and you just do it again. You just keep alternating and alternating until you're done with the 4 minutes.
Right. And the great thing about it is that it is total body as well. So you are not just working cardio, but core is engaged, upper body, lower body, so you do get all different.
The whole, it's a complete total body workout.
Right.
And then the homework that they do, so they meet with me twice a week, and then they go online and they only do a 6-minute workout, and they do that twice a week without me.
And they can do that in their home,
You can do that in their home.
As long as they have access to a computer.
Yes, almost anybody has access to a computer. It's only 6 minutes. And people think, how am I supposed to get what I need in 6 minutes? The research is demonstrating that it's enough.
Right.
And I still encourage them to do their own cardiovascular exercise or their own. So take a yoga class, do a Zumba class, take a 2-mile walk outside or a 30-minute whatever, and you'll still do those things. This is just kind of a push to get your metabolism changing and the food.
Right, and then
the main thing. Unbelievably important, and people don't realize that, and they learn how to become more aware in the Tabata boot camp.
And there is a small fee with the nutrition component. Can you talk a little bit to that?
Yes, this is the one thing that sometimes people are like, well, wait a minute, I don't understand. What do you mean? So if they sign up for the Tabata boot camp through the City of Ames, they sign up with you. There is an online component. I've been talking about it with the nutrition and the homework and lots of other features as well. By the way, that is the main way I communicate with my participants.
That's very
important. So they come to class and I talk to them there, of course, but then outside of that, I'm checking their food diary. I'm looking to see if they've done their homework, and that is all done online. I don't call people on the phone or try to catch them in the hallway or anything like that. So it's real convenient for a lot of people. They can do it at their desk. So the online fee, it's about $9.99. And it's only for the duration of the boot camp. If you want to continue on, you're more than welcome to. Continue to log your food, continue to take advantage of those workouts online. But it is a requirement. If you don't want to do the $9.99 web sign up, I can't have you in the boot camp because I cannot work with you the way I need to.
And again, it's accountability, and it's just such a small price. And
it's not a big fee. It's less than $10.
Right.
It's 2 coffees at Starbucks. It's not a lot of money.
So it's just definitely a whole different approach. And it's a newer program here, so
Yeah, it's new.
we're really excited to be offering it. We offer another program starting up here in September. We finished one in the summer, and we'll continue to try to have them go throughout the whole school year.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be what a lot of people need. They just maybe don't realize what it is.
Right. So it's two different components, combine them, and you get success.
That's what
which
we want.
is great.
That's right.
Well, thank you very much for joining us and informing us about the Tabata Boot Camp class. We're really excited to be offering it here at Ames Parks and Recreation. If you would like more information on this program or any of our programs, you can contact me at amesparkrec.org or 239-5353. And thank you again for joining us.
You're welcome.
And I'm Nancy Shaw with Healthy Living. And remember, it's never too late to get fit.